All right, we are ready and recording. Can you hit the light for us?
Yep.
All right, everyone, we're back for another original late night podcast. I believe this is episode 21.
Yep.
I think we got it wrong last time, but I think we were one below than what we really were. So thankfully, we're on a roll. Don't even really remember how many until we look at it, um, but the point is that we're back. That's the main thing. Back
Okay.
for another one.
Hey, everybody.
So how are you?
Um, I'm all right. Sleepy, got a headache, but I'm here.
Understandable. Looking forward to what the Lord has for us tonight. So
How are you?
I'm doing good. Hopefully everybody out there is doing good. But I'm doing good and looking forward to some teamwork, making the dream work. Cause the one time I did this solo, it's kind of weird. Not in a bad way, just it was a challenge. But I definitely enjoy it more, you know, having my sidekick, you know, um, co-host. So yeah, thankful that we're still at it and that I feel like the listeners responded when you came back. The energy kind of dropped off, and then I mean it's been a couple episodes since then, but I just had a flashback, I guess. But that said, I'm doing good, and I'm hoping that everybody is as well.
Yeah, same here.
So it's on your mind. We can freely flow. It don't have to be, um, you know, mechanical or premeditated, but I don't know. It's on your mind.
Mm, yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's a hard question for me to answer when I have a lot on my mind. Because the question is so broad. So it's really like,
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You get to pick.
let's talk about what's on your mind.
Okay. Um, in general, I mean, life is tough. Maybe I'll go with that theme for tonight. We don't have to stay there, but for starters, um, life is tough in the sense that it brings you challenges almost at like the perfect time. Even if even if you are managing challenges well, it'll give you something quote unquote hard enough that it kind of checks what you thought you could handle before, what you thought was comfortable, or even your I guess even just your faith, like where your faith is in that moment in time. So I mean that's on my mind obviously because that's kind of where I am currently. And not meaning like overall where I am, but it's definitely an element of my experience. Um, Obviously you and I share similar challenges at times. So, you know, I think I think some of it I've already shared with you. You already know what I'm talking about. But more specifically for the listeners, I don't know, I guess just being able to wake up and know like that we're taken care of and really trusting that and not just thinking that that's like this fairy tale or kind of abstract thing like how the Bible refers to, you know, how the creator looks at, his creation. Like he takes care of the birds. They don't worry about what they're gonna eat. Takes care of the flowers. He covers them. or clothes them. And I feel like the same is true with us, as the Bible says. I mean, He thinks that much more of us, and He wants us to learn from how those elements of life or those things trust Him without even trying to. So I guess when I say, life is hard or it can really be challenging, it's really in that area, like trusting that. Um, just I'm saying in general, but in whatever area that is challenging you, either most or in any given season or moment or day. So I'm making this a you, me, and everyone thing, but essentially that's what's on my mind. Just that concept of trusting God, and how I mean that has to be the key to making it through tough times. But yeah, that's one of the things that's on my mind. Um, you know,
Yeah, um, that's a good thought in terms of a major key for making it through. Because I guess you really do have to trust whatever you say you believe in, even if you don't see it. As cliche as that might sound, but you really have to have real, you have to really be convinced that what you believe in is that strong that it essentially will, I don't know, see to it that the things happen for you in life that you're desiring to happen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you said something, but I was trying to keep up, so it's like I kind of lost my question. But yeah, I mean, just your belief. I mean, you said something about being convinced, um, and I guess I mean that's interesting because from one person to another, I mean, what it takes to be convinced, you know what I mean, or what we see as convincing can differ. Um, but I that's another element of it that I feel like it's necessary to not even diminish like the importance of, I guess, just what the meaning of anything can be. Like if you get a sign, don't look at it like, oh, that's a sign, but it's too small to have real meaning. Um, like that's another area of trust that I'm trying to, allow myself to have. It's like, okay, I mean, I asked for a sign. That's a sign. How big was the sign? Maybe not that big, but was it confirmation or not? Was it still nudging me, kind of telling me to trust, you know, to trust God or trust the path that I'm going down, or um was it too small? I should write that off. That wasn't really a sign, and that wasn't really anything. I think how we think, and to your point, how we believe and what's convincing. We gotta kind of even assess that, and I would say even allow ourselves to believe in the most smallest, you know, ways of um, being convinced. Not by any and everything, but at least by those things that we do feel are, you know, quote unquote, but literally heaven sent, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like signs and wonders. Maybe a wonder is not something that is so small, but I mean, who are we to judge? I feel like the magnitude of something.
Right.
But if we do that to ourselves, we affect our own belief.
Yeah, that's true. I adding to that personally, think I'm trying to get to the space of like, what is it actually? I mean, maybe one would say this just has to do with visualizing things, but getting to the point where, you can, I guess, taste what you don't see or feel what you don't see. Um,
What do you mean by that?
just like really putting yourself in that space of what it looks like to be there, there being wherever it is you want to be or where you want to get to. Like, if you, it's like if you want to know what success, or if you're working towards success, um, and you are in a space where you have to push through, it might be hard because, if you've never gotten to that level of success, you don't really know what you're looking for real.
Yeah,
You know you're working towards something, but you don't exactly know what that atmosphere is like. So just being able to create that atmosphere for yourself while you're pushing through and really getting a feel like what do you what does it look like, feel like, taste like, smell like, I don't know.
yeah.
Just that whole thing
So
to
basically, being intentional about like going there, like in your own mind or even practices.
um intentional about going there, like, I mean, in so many words, yeah. Just like going there so that you have even more reason to believe
Yeah,
like what you're doing is even real. So it doesn't seem like this just thing that's in a faraway, distant land somewhere that you're chasing,
yeah,
but like actually making it real so that it feels real. Like you just are sure that whatever it is you're looking for exists. Like it's not just a made up thing in your mind that you have to force yourself to think is true, but just giving yourself another reason to again believe that, what you're waiting for it to happen is coming and it exists.
yeah.
And, you know,
I follow. I was trying to just make sure that I did. And for anybody who might think like me, I was just making sure I was trying to visualize, I guess, what you were saying, but that makes perfect sense. That makes sense.
like, should I be imagining? And maybe there are more like practical things you can do for sure. Um, but I don't know. It's like, let's say you want to live in a certain kind of house. Like, instead of just thinking about the fact that a certain kind of house exists, like, what is, I don't know if you actually like picture yourself in whatever type of living room or I don't know, just really creating that picture. I guess that's why I said before it may tie into actually visualizing, and taking that time out to really do that so that you can really paint these pictures in your mind and have something to hold on to,
Yeah,
during the midst of like those tough times. But you know, just really getting a feel for like, oh, this is what it will look like. When my account hits this number, or this is what it'll look like. When my grocery cart is like full of all the stuff that I want to buy to eat, and just little stuff like that.
yeah,
Not little by any means, but
but
just
yeah.
doing those, exercises, I guess.
I mean, I think saying little is fine to me because that's what kind of what I was just saying. Like, is it really little? Like, redefining what little is. Like you said, if it's drawing a picture, I mean, that might seem small, but if otherwise you wouldn't be envisioning that, it's a very powerful thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying by not calling it little, but I think that's kind of the problem that we face, or I know I do. Um, I don't want to think that way. Like that was too small of a peek at, God's grace. Like if it's, I'm not trying to make it just about anything, but just for lack of a better example, if you ask God something and you flip a coin and it is heads, I mean that might not be what we don't need to play with God like that. But, you know, I feel like sometimes those signs come like that quickly and that simply. We ask God something, He shows us, and then we still like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, He just told you, you know. But anywho,
Yeah.
so have you picked something yet out of your, I guess, just the many things you said that you might be thinking about right now? Well, you said you have a lot on your mind.
Yeah. How do you push through when you're not happy?
You know,
Yeah. I think it's too deep for an answer. It don't have to be that deep, maybe, but I think it's a lot of unpacking because it comes with a lot of questions that need a lot of answers.
yeah,
But it might just be something to think about,
yeah,
you know, especially, whoever's listening. If you feel that way, it just might be some more things to think about. And maybe there is a list of questions that can be written down and, you know, looked over or presented to like really see what those questions are.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll let that one marinate. How to push through when you're unhappy. I say just push. I put myself in that space. Um, I don't know. I say just push through. I mean, I don't think I don't think we have a reason, and this might sound crazy to some, hopefully not to you, but I don't know that we ever really, really, truly have a reason to not be happy. Um, and that doesn't mean we don't have many reasons that would try to make us feel unhappy, but I think we always at least have one reason, you know, being that we have the opportunity to be, I don't know, like to be what it is that you just said, like that we can envision even through the smallest of windows, I'll call them, or the smallest of opportunities or glimpses, you know. I mean, it doesn't mean that there's not plenty of things that might be in the way or clouding that kind of view or picture, but I don't think that it's impossible to still find, or remember or be reminded of that reason. And I guess that's why for me, like when I say pushing through, it might be literal work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh yeah, just push through, act like it's nothing. I'm more so saying like push through, like, even if it's push some of the things out of the way that are trying to make you or that are affecting, how you feel or how we feel or how I feel if I'm putting myself in that position. And or how y'all might feel if anybody else is in that position, of course. Um, but to push some of those things out of the way until you find reasons to be happy or find, the reminders of what's, deeper that really can't be taken from us, you know. But obviously, I mean, it could be an everyday thing thankfully, there are many days, like the Bible even says, joy comes in the morning. There's many days, hopefully, we've all had where we woke up happy, you know. We didn't have to try hard to be happy, but I think as life goes on, whether you're, a teenager or, in your 60s, challenges come and they start to add up. Or even if they're very minor things like, people not being nice or, you know, minor things that are really major, don't get me wrong, but I find that even for myself, I feel like I can do better even at, you know, deciding what I'm gonna let affect my happiness or even to kind of steal that joy or that peace or, or making sure like I know how to get back to that space quickly or as quickly as possible. But you do have to, it does take work and it does take time. And sometimes, there is no specific answer. Like, I agree with that. Um, in the moment, maybe that anybody can give us. Um, but I won't say it's impossible. I mean, God uses people. So you never know. But I think we just have to push through, would be my, if I find myself in that position, which I have. I mean, I'm not being unhappy or being unhappy is not beneath me. But I just try not to, I guess, stay in those places too long because it's not fair to myself, first and foremost. And it's not fair to the people around us. But that's just my.
Hopefully, you guys are listening, getting something out of what he just said, and can apply some of those thoughts maybe to your own life.
I know it's late ish. It's not that late. It feels later than what it is. But by the time this comes out, time is passing. It will be late.
I think it's time to wrap it up.